Okay, we're joined in the interview room by our West Coast Conference champions, Gonzaga head coach Mark Few, as well as our student athletes Joel Ajayi and Philip Petrusev. Coach, you want to make an opening comment about the game tonight?
Hey, it was a heck of an effort by our guys, and we beat a really, really good team, a team that's going to get in the NCAA tournament and make a lot of noise. And I'm just really, really proud of this group for what they've taken on all year and end up, you know, regular season champs and conference champs when this is as good as this league's been since I've been doing that is a heck of an accomplishment. And not only these two, but everybody in the locker room deserves all the credit.
Okay, we'll take questions. Please raise your hand and wait on the microphone, please.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrato with the West Coast Conference. Mark, you've had a lot of great teams, but this one you sort of built almost from scratch with 4 new starters and a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
Are you in any way surprised at how good you've become?
Yeah, absolutely surprised. I was pleasantly surprised as I've ever been probably doing this. These guys, you know, from where we were in July or where we were actually in September, even the first real practices in October have came as far as, or farther than any club I've ever coached.
Can you talk about your defense in the second half and how you sort of disarmed the 2 guys who were doing so well for them?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was born out of desperation a little bit, but I mean, again, it also shows you just how basketball intelligent this group is. We were able to, and we've worked on it some in practice and thrown it out in a couple games, but no, we needed to just take the ball out of Jordan Ford's hands. He's an unbelievable player, and when he gets going like that, and then when Fitz, you know, is making those deep threes like he was, you know, I just knew we had to change the dynamic a little bit. And not only were the guys doing a good job in the trap, but it was the other 3 that have the toughest job and flying around, and Joel was making steals, and you know, Philip was either in the trap or, you know, kind of directing traffic from the back there. That's where we really did a good job, was with our rotations.
Okay, other questions? Back here in the back in the gold shirt.
Will Moppin, the Inlander, for Coach Few. You're sitting next to the regular season player of the year and the tournament most outstanding player last season. Both of them were sort of on the outside of the rotation, looking in.
Yep.
How has their growth been over the past 2 years to get to the point where they are now?
Well, I mean, obviously it's been unbelievable, and that's been the whole key to this season is guys like this, you know, their growth. They grew from, you know, role players last year basically into the guys that we count on, the guys that we want to take big shots, the guys that we want to have the ball in big moments, and there's no greater responsibility you can show your players and no greater belief than that. So they've earned it. This isn't the first time Joel has done that, and it's not the first time, you know, Phillips delivered time and time again and, you know, inside. And so now they're starting to see the rewards, but there's also, you know, there's 5 other guys in there that have made plays, and you know, you can make solid arguments for MVPs and things like that too. I mean, the beauty of this team is our balance, and you know, on any given night it could be Tilly and Ryan. Last night Ryan was terrific, you know, and tonight Admon was terrific, and so you know, that's been the greatest asset we've had all year was our balance.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve Karp with Gaming Today for the players. How did the last 2 nights, tonight and last night, get you guys ready for next week and what lies ahead?
Like Coach said, the conference is really good this year. We played against some great teams. Santa Clara, San Francisco, and St. Mary's are a really good team, really good guards, putting us, you know, in difficulty. So I think we're going to learn from that. We still have a week, you know, to improve, and it wasn't always easy, but you know, like Coach said, we adapted. We adapted during the halftime, and we came out with an edge, and I think that's a positive thing we can take out of this.
Yeah, like Joel said, there's a lot of good teams in this conference, and we got 3 in the tournament this year. And every time you get a game like that, like yesterday, where it goes down to the last play, you know, it's always it's always good because that's what it's gonna be like at the tournament. So every time we can get that, it's a blessing, and we just have to use it, and we got the dub out of it. So that's a big step for us, and we just gotta get ready for the tournament because all the games are gonna be like that, and just stick together, like Joe said, and just try to get the dub every time.
Okay, Jeff, down front.
Philip, after losing to these guys last year in this game, how determined were you guys to win back this place? And secondly, can you talk about how much of an advantage you felt you had as a group inside against their bigs?
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those 4 guys that lost the game last year, and I just remember the feeling in the locker room, and those guys that were playing a lot last year, they're now gone. Just the way they felt after the game, really disappointed, going with a loss to the tournament. So I know 4 of us were definitely fired up, and we try to give the energy to our other guys too. And then, I mean, it was obvious how dominant we were inside, like especially Drew and then myself. Just try, get the position down low, and then maybe play through that, find the open cuts, and just react to the defense because their big guy was out, and we pinned the early fouls in their starting big, so that was huge, and that was big key to the win for sure.
Mark, can you talk about when you recruited the current recruiting class? Timmy was not the headliner by any means, but he's been so good for you this year, and tonight first half he was terrific. Can you talk about his development, his progress?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was a top 50 or some kid, so he was kind of the headliner. So whatever that. I mean, I don't get too caught up in the rankings. We knew with Drew we had a Gonzaga guy. I mean, these guys will tell you he's tough, he's confident, hardworking. You can coach him and coach him hard, and he handles that well. And he's just got a enthusiasm and an energy that he brings, like some of our other former players have been great with, whether it was Rob Sackery or Zach Norvell or those types that just brought it every day, and you just appreciate that approach. So I think all of us knew, he's gotten into a couple situations with foul trouble and things in these games, but I mean, I even told him today I thought he was going to have a breakout game tonight just because he played well against them at St. Mary's, and he was just due. But everybody believes in him, and just like they do in Joel, and just like they do in Phillip and Tilly and Ryan and Admon. So that's the beauty of this squad.
Anything else? Okay, right over here.
This one's for Joel Jackson Frank with The Athletic. You took kind of you redshirted first year and then took a backseat role last year. How rewarding has this season been for you to kind of break out and find your role?
I always say that games are just a celebration of all the work you put in before, and I think this year is a celebration of 2 years and now 3 years. All the work I've put, the trust I had in those guys and the coaching staff and the whole program, and now they're giving me the trust back, and it's just I'm really happy. I'm really thankful. It's an awesome opportunity for me, and I'm just really happy. It's just living life.
Over here, just to your right.
Theo Lossman, the spokesman review. Mark, I think that was your first technical since 2016. What's it like to see the streak come to an end?
What's that?
What was it like to see the streak come to an end, and were you expecting that to come?
No, I mean, I wasn't aware I had a streak, so didn't really give it much thought.
Anything else? Oh, back here in the back, in the blue and the gray shirt, please.
Coach, now that the NCAA tournament bid is official, there's a lot of talk within the NCAA about potentially closing down some arenas to fans and whatnot for the COVID-19 virus. Would that be weird at all for you guys? Because I mean, you saw what kind of.
What do you think? Would it be weird for you?
I mean, I think so personally.
Yeah.
Just covering the event, but
well, yeah. I mean, obviously, we've never ever dealt with anything like this, so it's all new, and we're all just waiting to see, and just hoping, and I should say trusting that, wise decisions will be made on both ends to keep everybody safe, but also fully taking into account that these guys have waited their whole life to play in this tournament, and so, and what it means to them. And So I'm hoping some prudent and wise decisions will be made, taking all that in.
Okay. Anything else? Congratulations. Good luck to you guys in the
Thanks.
NCAA tournament.